In late January 2025, President Donald Trump proposed that Canada could avoid impending 25% tariffs on its exports by becoming the 51st US state. He argued that such a move would lead to substantial tax reductions and improved healthcare for Canadians. Trump stated Canadian citizens, if that happened, would receive a very big tax cut. A tremendous tax cut because they are so highly taxed, and they would enjoy much better health coverage. He believed the people of Canada would appreciate it. This proposal was part of a series of comments and actions by President Trump suggesting the annexation of Canada. In December 2024, during a meeting with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau at Mar-a-Lago, Trump suggested that Canada consider becoming the 51st US state if it felt threatened by planned US tariffs. He later referred to Trudeau as Governor Justin Trudeau of the great state of Canada and expressed a desire to continue discussions on tariffs and trade. On January 7, 2025, during a press conference at Mar-a-Lago, Trump reiterated his position, stating that he would use economic force to encourage Canada to join the United States, emphasizing potential benefits for national security and economic advantages for Canadians. Canadian leaders have consistently rejected these proposals. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau responded firmly, stating that Canadians are very, very proud of being Canadian and that the idea of becoming a US state is not going to happen. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre also dismissed the notion, affirming Canada will never be the 51st state, period. We are a great and independent country. Executive Order by Trump. In the executive order titled Imposing Duties to Address the Flow of Illicit Drugs Across Our Northern Border, signed on February 1, 2025, President Donald Trump invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act and the National Emergencies Act to justify the imposition of tariffs on Canadian imports. The order states that the challenges at the US southern border are foremost in the public consciousness, but the northern border is not exempt from these issues. Criminal networks are implicated in human trafficking and smuggling operations, enabling unvetted illegal migration across the northern border. There is also a growing presence of Mexican cartels operating fentanyl and methamphetamine synthesis labs in Canada. The executive order further emphasizes the public health crisis in the United States, attributing it to the influx of illicit drugs. The flow of illicit drugs, like fentanyl, to the United States through both illicit distribution networks and international mail has created a public health crisis. To address these concerns, the order mandates the implementation of additional tariffs until the crisis is alleviated. President Donald J. Trump is implementing a 25% additional tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico and a 10% additional tariff on imports from China. Energy resources from Canada will have a lower 10% tariff. As perceived by the US administration, these measures are intended to hold Canada accountable for its role in the production and trafficking of illicit drugs. In response to the United States' imposition of tariffs on Canadian goods, the government of Canada has detailed its retaliatory measures to safeguard national interests. In a national address, Trudeau announced immediate retaliatory tariffs of 25% on US goods valued at 155 billion Canadian dollars, approximately 107 billion US dollars. He emphasized that these measures were necessary to protect Canadian interests and urged citizens to prioritize domestic products over American ones. Trudeau addressed American citizens directly, warning that the US tariffs would not only harm Canadians, but also have significant repercussions for Americans. He cautioned that the tariffs could jeopardize American jobs, particularly in auto assembly and manufacturing, increase consumer costs for essentials like food and gasoline, and disrupt access to critical Canadian resources such as nickel, potash, uranium, steel, and aluminum. Trudeau also highlighted that these tariffs violate the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, which was negotiated and signed by both nations. In his speech, Trudeau invoked the long-standing relationship between Canada and the United States, referencing President John F. Kennedy's words, "Geography has made us neighbors, history has made us friends, economics has made us partners, and necessity has made us allies." He expressed a desire to maintain this close relationship and called for collaboration rather than conflict. However, he made it clear that Canada would not hesitate to defend its national interests against unjust actions. The targeted products include orange juice, peanut butter, wine and spirits, beer, coffee, appliances, apparel and footwear, motorcycles, cosmetics, and pulp and paper. The government also plans to extend tariffs to an additional $125 billion worth of US goods. The phase will undergo a 21-day public consultation period before implementation and is expected to encompass passenger vehicles and trucks, including electric vehicles, steel and aluminum products, certain fruits and vegetables, aerospace products, beef, pork and dairy products, trucks and buses, and recreational vehicles and boats. These measures are designed to be forceful but reasonable, aiming to protect Canadian consumers, workers and businesses while minimizing domestic harm. The government has also established a remission process to consider exceptional relief requests from the imposed tariffs, with further details to be announced in the coming days. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau emphasized that these actions are in direct response to the US administration's unjustified tariffs, which he argues will have detrimental effects on both economies. He stated that the US tariffs could disrupt production at American auto assembly plants and oil refineries, raise costs for American consumers, and jeopardize American prosperity. Canada's trade relationship with the United States is extensive, with significant imports across various sectors. In 2023, Canada's total merchandise imports were valued at approximately 770 billion Canadian dollars, with the US accounting for 49.6% of this total. The US is a primary supplier of orange juice to Canada, given its proximity and established trade relationships. In 2023, Canada imported approximately $286 million worth of orange juice globally, with a significant portion sourced from the United States. Major US suppliers include companies like Tropicana Products Inc., a subsidiary of PepsiCo, and the Coca-Cola Company, which owns the Minute Maid brand. These companies have established distribution networks that facilitate the export of orange juice to Canada. Canada imported around $130 million in peanut butter in 2023, with the majority coming from the United States. The US is a major producer of peanuts and peanut products, making it a key supplier to the Canadian market. Notable suppliers include the J.M. Smucker Company, which produces the Jif brand, and Hormel Foods Corporation, known for its Skippy brand. These brands are widely available in Canadian retail outlets. In 2023, Canada imported approximately $450 million worth of motorcycles, with a substantial share originating from the United States. American motorcycle manufacturers, such as Harley-Davidson, have a significant presence in the Canadian market. Canada imports a variety of motorcycles from the United States, with significant contributions from manufacturers such as Harley-Davidson Inc. Harley-Davidson has a strong presence in the Canadian market, offering a range of models popular among Canadian consumers. Canada's cosmetic imports totaled about $2.3 billion in 2023, with the United States being a leading supplier. The close proximity and similar regulatory standards facilitate substantial cosmetic trade between the two countries. The cosmetics industry in the US includes several major companies that export products to Canada, such as Estee Lauder Companies Inc., Procter & Gamble Company, and Johnson & Johnson, which are among the leading suppliers. These companies offer a wide array of cosmetic products that are well received in the Canadian market. The automotive sector is highly integrated between Canada and the United States. In 2023, Canada imported approximately $52 billion worth of vehicles from the US, including passenger cars and trucks. Additionally, car parts and accessories imports from the US were valued at around $20 billion. Major US automotive manufacturers such as General Motors Company, Ford Motor Company, and Stellantis NV, which includes the Chrysler brand, have significant exports to Canada. These companies supply both finished vehicles and automotive parts, supporting a complex supply chain between the two countries. For electric vehicles, while overall numbers were lower compared to internal combustion models, brands like Tesla, with vehicles manufactured in the US, have also been part of the import mix. US aerospace exports to Canada were valued at approximately 4.5 billion Canadian dollars in 2020. While full aircraft transactions are infrequent, the overall figure includes both complete aircraft and a large number of components and systems. Industry estimates suggest that transactions involved on the order of 150 to 200 distinct aircraft or major component deliveries or contracts in a given year. Boeing is the primary US aerospace brand in these figures, with additional contributions from companies such as Lockheed Martin, GE Aviation, and Honeywell Technologies for engines, avionics, and systems. In 2023, the United States exported significant amounts of base metal, including steel and aluminum, to Canada.